Welcome back to Champions Corner. I'm your host, Adriel Orona. And today's guest at 5 years old came from the Congo as a refugee alongside of his family. Now this conversation is all about overcoming adversity, facing challenges head on, and why he puts God first in the things that he does. He is a 4-0 amateur fighter representing Team Relentless MMA. Today's guest is Tshiunza Israel.
And the microphones and they wanna know the return. If you are what you say you are.
So talk to me a little bit about your fight though, because you just fought and you won.
Yeah.
Right? So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I had a really good fight, very tough opponent, but I always want a tough opponent. Guy was undefeated, so I took his O, and I like taking that. But it was a great fight. We had a great game plan for the guy, and we just got the dub.
How did you guys game plan for him?
We knew he was, he came out very differently, because we thought he was gonna box me, but he really wanted to come out wrestle. But I'm a wrestler and I don't like getting taken down, so we're also a very grappling heavy based team.
Yeah.
So coming out, I knew, hey, if the game plan changed, So Roger just told me in the second, third, look for my takedowns, and I did, and I won every round. So that's all that matters.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Did you always know that you were going to be a fighter, or what was it like growing up?
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, because I watched a lot of WWE.
Yeah.
And
Who's your favorite wrestler?
my favorite wrestler would probably be Brock Lesnar, John Cena.
Yeah.
And Randy Orton.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
all right, man.
But, I mean, I've always fought for everything in
Yeah.
my life. So, I've always had to, literally work for everything, As a immigrant, I didn't really have, people that understood this society as much. So, I always had to fight for everything. And, I love fighting.
Were you born in the Congo?
No, I was born in Uganda, but I'm
Uganda.
Congolese.
Oh, okay.
I'm a refugee.
Okay.
Yeah, my
Dang.
parents had to leave the Congo
Wow.
in the 90s during the war. And, I was born in Kampala, Uganda. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I was just in Kenya. I want to say, I don't know how far that is from Uganda.
Yeah, it's in Central Africa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's far.
Yeah. That's cool. So, I mean, you were still a baby when?
I was 5 when I came to the States, but I remember. I have really good memory.
Yeah. So what are some things that you remember with your time being there?
I went to school there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you go to school there, it's very strict. Teachers don't play. And I started school at 3. It was kindergarten at 3. But I was a very mischievous boy.
Yeah.
So in Uganda, if you don't stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, you get in trouble. But as a kid, I was just rebellious, and I was like, I don't want to do this. So I got spanked in front of the whole school, and and I ran home, and my dad was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then he beat my butt too.
Oh, so you got double spanking.
Yeah, I got double spanking, and yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So now talk about growing up in Lexington though. When you guys came from Uganda, did you go straight to Lexington?
Yeah, the original plan was for us to live in D.C., but my mom was like, nah, so we moved to Lexington. And it was great. I love Lexington, it's my hometown. Very diverse, great people, I met really, really good people there, and it's part of me, it's part of my story, and I love Lexington. Yeah.
What was your childhood like?
My childhood life was, for an immigrant, I would say I really had a very lucky childhood. My mom, my dad, and I seen how my dad treated my mom, so, and my dad too, he's a man of faith, so he don't play by God.
Right.
And I just seen the type of man he was. And I think him and my mom, they did what they could, and you see, what they produced in me. So I had a very good childhood.
Where'd you go to high school at?
I went to high school at Frederick Douglass High School.
Douglass, okay.
It's a new high school, opened up in 2017.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I played football and wrestled there too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wait, did you like wrestling more than you like football?
I always liked wrestling more, but people always pushed me towards football.
Yeah.
You know, I really liked football, but I wouldn't say I loved it.
Mhm.
You know, but I really liked martial arts. Yeah,
That's crazy.
really did.
What kind of guy? Or, I mean, I guess you kind of spoke on that you were watching a lot of WWE,
Yeah.
and that kind of
Yeah.
propelled you towards that martial arts direction.
Yeah.
But for like a wrestler,
hmm
what I feel like a lot of people, they think after wrestling they don't really know what comes
Yeah.
next. Did you already knew that you wanted to hop into MMA?
Yeah. There was like I remember during COVID, going to my senior year, and I was like, dang, I was a starter, and we just lost in the state championship. And I was playing with a lot of guys too that were D1, you know, but I just wasn't getting no offers. So I was like, might as well just, you know, try to find a school to wrestle and, you know, fight. You know, I was watching a lot of Kamaru Usman, Conor McGregor, Khabib, all those guys, and I just liked it. Just I was drawn to it, but I luckily got a scholarship. You know, was able to play college football for a little bit and wrestle too. But ultimately, too, what really was my uncle, who I'm named after.
Yeah.
He was a big fan that I wrestled, and before he passed away, he told me you should probably like stop playing football in a sense and get into it. And I was like, once he died, I was like, yeah, this life thing is too short, so you might as well, you know, do what you want to do. And like I said, I've always liked fighting. You know, I fought for everything in my whole life. You know, I've had to earn it. You know, so fighting is natural, and it's like breathing to me. So.
What do you feel like is the most challenging struggle that you had to overcome?
Being myself, you know, in a world that, you know, people, I think in this world, you know, they're okay with following, but I think when you're yourself, in hindsight, people will respect you more. You know, even if they might not show it, they definitely will. So I think that's something I had to overcome, you know, especially coming from a different culture, as well as being growing up in America, you know. But I always consider myself, you know, as an African American, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How do you still try to tie in your culture from Uganda to here in the U.S.?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Congolese culture is very different, as well as American, but I see both the positive and the negatives. So, I mean, I just really just, you know, dug it out, I guess. That's the word I could say.
That's
know?
cool.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about your time there, because like I love talking to people.
In Uganda?
Yeah, or not just your time, but like more like what is the culture like there? What is the atmosphere like?
So Congolese, we're very I say old school. You know, especially we're very big on God, very big on family. You know, just very traditional people, and we just love family, community, and just God. You know, and education too is a very, very big part of our culture, especially when we come over to the United States. We know, the opportunity that we're granted, and we want to make the best of it, you know. So,
absolutely. Yeah. Now, talking about your time in college, did you automatically commit to Thomas More?
Nah, so I went to Kentucky Wesleyan for a semester. Things just didn't work out there. It was a great school, you know, good coaches, but something was just drawing me to Thomas More, and I went there, played football and also wrestled.
Yeah. What position did you play in football?
I played defensive line.
Yeah.
Defensive line.
That's tough, dude. So now talk to me about the culture there at Thomas More, because I know that Jamon Oso went there. Did you get to play with Jamon on the
Yeah, we wrestled together. That was like one of the first. So I remember my first tournament back because I took like a 2-year layoff. And like I was really good, but wrestling is a different sport. I just wasn't in wrestling condition, you know, and that takes a long time to get into. But Jamon was like one of those guys, like he was like, bro, don't quit. You're really good. And I just kept going, and I had a good season. I made it to, I got qualified to nationals, but with us transitioning to D2, we had 2 heavyweights, and we had a really good heavyweight. His name's Dalton, really good, and he got first, I got third, so you know he went and he did his thing too. at nationals for sure.
How important is it for like a team, like in that sense, where you have somebody on your team that's also really good, and constantly seeing them train and seeing them practice?
It really made me like want to get better. You know, in hindsight, I was like, hey man, this guy, he was, you know, he's a motivation. But everyone on Thomas More team, you know, wrestling team, they were just grinding. You know, because we're going to school. Some of us are working, but we're in that basement, Ackerman Hall, just grinding 100 degrees, and it was just fun. You know, it made me like know what type of man I am. You know, and I loved it. I miss it a lot. I really do.
During this time, was there somebody that you were looking up to for guidance or support or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, God. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm the oldest brother, so I have sisters and a little brother, so like I really didn't have like, you know, someone I can look up to. But I just trusted in God and the plans that, you know, God had for me. And yeah,
I completely understand that. I'm also the oldest of my, I mean, these are my two younger brothers. So like I always try to be the best example that I can be. But being the oldest sibling, what are kind of some struggles that you faced? And how did you overcome them?
I say the struggles, you know, I think when you're the oldest sibling, your parents don't really know what they're doing yet. So I could be like, dang, my parents, you know, they didn't understand that. But, you know, and I just say, I don't think it's struggles. I think it's more of a privilege, you know, being the older brother, because I set the tone for my siblings, you know. So I think with me graduating college, like, now my siblings, they got to do better. They got to go to, like, Harvard, you know. That's what I expect, you know. And I just want to be a good example for them, you know, because I didn't have a good example, you know, because I was the firstborn. So, yeah.
I really love that everything that you're talking about is very heavily devoted and emphasizing on God. How has your faith led you on this journey?
My parents really, you know, they're God-fearing people. They pray a lot, and they have integrity, especially my father, you know. And, you know, a lot of people I don't show it, but, like, I'm more private about it, you know. But, yeah, like, just seeing how my father was, you know. My father really, growing up, you know, my whole life, like, he really didn't play about, like, who he said he was. And I think that really is why I am who I am today. Yeah, for sure.
That's really cool. Now, how do you communicate with God? Are you praying consistently?
I think the way I communicate with God is, I mean, prayer, of course, but as well, I feel like just how hard our work, you know, because every time I wake up, I'm like, it's another opportunity to build a future, you know, not only for me, but for the community that I want to, you know, help and be around. So, yeah.
What are some goals that you have in life?
You know, my goals is to be the best in the world, especially fighting, you know. I've never really had something that I'm just so drawn to. And I want to be the best in the world. I don't know what promotion, but I plan on going pro, hopefully by the end of this year. And whatever promotion, you know, it could be UFC, any of them, I don't care. I just want to be the best in the world, and I want people to know that, hey, people like me, you know, it doesn't matter. As long as you believe in what God has planned for you, you could do it. It doesn't matter. You just got to keep your head down, keep working, but when it's time, you got to show the world that, hey, I am who I am, you know.
What is a mindset of yours going into a fight?
My mindset going into a fight is just I got to win by any means necessary, you know. A lot of guys are just looking for finishes, you know. I'm looking to break you, you know, and I feel like that's what I did to my last opponent, you know. He came out very tough, but I won a dogfight, you know, and, you know, his face was messed up. And you could
I did watch the fight.
My face wasn't messed up, you know, and that's what I want. I want him to know that, hey, he broke me, you know, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to go in there. I think knockouts are easier, but when you can go in there all 3 rounds, 5 rounds, and tell your opponent whatever you're throwing at me isn't going to stop me, you know, I think that's better. And that's the type of fighter I am. And I think a lot of people are going to really have to dig deep to figure me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that face-off from the last fight. Why did you approach it in
I mean,
that
I'm
manner?
like I said, I'm a showman. So I mean, it was. I mean, he's a great guy. You know, my opponent. He has a beautiful family. He has a wife. He has a son on the way. You know, but I mean, we're in the fight game, so we got to do certain things. And you know, I wanted to sell the fight, and we won fight of the night because of that. You know, I see a lot of these amateur guys and stuff. They come in. You know, they don't want to sell themselves. You know, they're scared to fight the best. And like I said, I want to fight the best. You know, I want to see who I am. And I just believe that I'm really one of the best, you know, not only in Ohio and Kentucky, but like really in the world. And I train like it. You know, I live it. And I just really believe it. But
Is it hard for you to, because like you brought up, like it's almost like a show thing, like you got to perform, right? Is it hard for you to flip the switch where once the fight's over, you're back to being your regular self, or is it like you still have that tension? Like what is that like?
Nah, I mean, wrestling taught me how to be wrestling and playing football. You know the next play mentality. You know, so I know how to do it. You know, really good. Like I'm very aggressive. Yeah, I'll say I have a ego in there. You know, going in there, but I mean, it's a very dirty game. So I got to be able to protect myself, and everything too is mental. You know, I had to show my opponent that I studied him. You know, I knew everything about him. You know, and I looked him up. You know, so we have the internet for a reason. So I'm gonna use everything that I know that you won't like against you, and we put on a good show. You know, he came out, fought hard, and I feel like me doing that motivated him. You know, I want to fight everyone at their best. You know, and I told my coach too for the fight, I expect him to be his best tonight, and I think that was his best.
Yeah.
And
You still came out victorious. I want to speak on the topic of confidence, though.
Yeah.
Being an immigrant, coming to the U.S., I mean, you've had to overcome so many things. How do you still maintain confidence? Because a lot of people nowadays, they'll use those kind of things as excuses. They'll use it as a crutch. Like, you know what? I'm not going to ever be successful because I've had to overcome and I've had to battle through so many things. But not you.
Yeah.
Why not?
Like I told you, my parents, you know, they're God-fearing people. So, yeah, just seeing how they were able, you know, to overcome. You know, my mom, she was a nurse. My dad, he was an agriculture doctor. And they had a home and everything. And they had to literally leave their country. You know, and they had to be in Uganda for about 5 to 6 years. And the chances of them even coming to America is literally like winning the lottery, you know. So I'm just seeing how much they believed in God and, you know, the trials and tribulation they went through. You know, that's where I really get my confidence from. And, like, I'm really blessed to have that. And just seeing that, how hard they work, you know. My mom, she works hard. My dad, they work hard, you know. I remember every morning before I went to football practice, my dad waking up, going to work, you know, and then going to work again at night. My mom, too, like, they just very hardworking people. And they take care of their families, too, back home. And that's where I really get my confidence from. I'll say from my parents, just knowing that, hey, no matter what, they just trusted in God and everything worked out. And, that's where really I get my confidence from.
So it's almost like you've seen them do it. So it's like, and you're from the same blood.
Yeah.
Why not me?
Yeah. I mean, they literally escaped the war zone, you know, and they were literally getting shot at, you know, by rebels. Crazy. So, I mean, if they can do that, I mean, what can I not do, you know?
Right.
So,
Where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself being the best in the world. You know, I see myself inspiring the next generation of kids. And, you know, I just, like I said, I want to be the best in the world, and I want to fight the best in the world. So, I want to be the best in the world in 5 years.
Outside of training, what are you doing?
Literally, outside of training, that's all I do. You know, I just train, work, and school. So,
What are you working in?
I do a lot of jobs. I do a lot of jobs,
I
do a lot of jobs.
I got you.
Yeah.
Is it hard to balance not only work and being a fighter, but you said you go to school as well? Yeah. So is that hard to balance all those things?
I mean, I need it. I'm a type of person that I need to be in a schedule, or, you know, I think I follow I can get myself in trouble if I'm not, busy. And I like staying busy, and I just feel like, too, like, I'm not a person that just wants to always be in just sitting down chilling. I like to work, and it keeps me knowing that, hey, I'm doing something. And like I said, every time God lets me wake up, it's another chance, to build my future.
Right. And I know that you got another fight coming up August 7th.
No, that's August 7th. So I was supposed to fight August 7th.
Okay.
I had two opponents, and those two opponents backed out. They don't want to fight me. They're fighting each other. So, but like I said, a lot of these guys, they're not as tough as you think they are. But like I said, I'm willing to fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. Respectfully. But they didn't want to fight me. But I have a fight scheduled August 29th against a very, very tough opponent. Big guy. Very good striker, very good wrestler. He's going to be a good test for me. And that's what I want. I just want to fight guys that can, bring, a new level of me. And I'm excited to fight him.
How does it go about finding these fights? Like, are you just hitting people up like, hey?
I don't do none of the work. I got a really good coach, Roger. He's a UFC vet, so he knows everyone. So he does it all for me. But he tells me a lot of these guys don't want to fight me, and it sucks, because I really want to stay busy. I want to compete, and I'm just an ultimate competitor. Right.
Yeah. And then fighting, representing Team Relentless, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I'm just blessed that, Roger allowed me on his team, And, I'm one of his first heavyweights. And, being a heavyweight, we're the biggest heavyweight. We're the biggest, baddest division. So everyone's looking up to the heavyweights. And I don't want to bring shame to the team. So every time I go in there, I'm just trying to show what it means to be a relentless fighter. And I feel like I've done that, but there's more to come, And I got so much more to prove. I haven't done nothing yet. This is just the beginning.
I love that that's your mindset, because I think that's so important, because then you're consistently focused on growth.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times, like, you're 3-0.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of people that would use that and be like, you know what, like, I can chill. I
haven't done nothing. Like 3-0, that's nothing to me. I wanna. What if I go 20-0, 30-0, and I'm an amateur. I really think I could be a pro right now too. But I'm just trusting in Roger's plan, and he's been there. He's been doing this as long as I've been alive. So I'm gonna trust him, and trust my team there.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question. My next question was, like, why haven't you gone pro? So is it not you who decides, it's your coach that's like, hey, like, we're going to wait a little bit more, we're going to train a little bit more?
Well, ultimately the fighter decides, but, I have, like, I say Roger's like the big brother I never had. So, I trust Roger a lot. So, and whenever he thinks I'm ready, I'm ready,
Yeah.
So and the other coaches too, Coach Russ, all of my coaches. I got a really good coaching staff. Like, they really know what they're doing, and I don't know how I got blessed. And I also got, like, really good teammates like Jamon, Hunter, Josh, Elijah. Like, I keep going. Like, everyone in our gym that fights is really, really like that. And I'm just blessed to have a team of guys that can wrestle, that can strike. Like, I'm just blessed.
If you're like me and like looking for brands that represent Jesus and the things that he's done over your life, check out the Jesus Loves You brand. They have plenty of shirts just like this and even more that you can choose from. When you go to checkout, use code TLC for 20% off. Let's get back to the show. What are some weaknesses in your game that you feel like you got to strengthen?
I don't know. I don't know any weaknesses, to be honest, because, like I said, I'm working on everything every day. I do jiu-jitsu, do kickboxing, do boxing, do wrestling. We do it all. So I don't know what weaknesses I have. So to be honest with you, I don't know. Because I feel like I can strike, I could box, I can kick. I've shown that, my first 3 fights. I have good jiu-jitsu too. People say, oh, I need to work on it, but I think I have really good jiu-jitsu, and like I said, I'm just working every day. And like the jiu-jitsu tournaments I've been at, I haven't lost. No one scored a point on me, But I use my wrestling, but I say I'm more of a defensive jiu-jitsu guy, I really like to control and just outpace you and break you.
Right.
That's my game plan.
What do you feel like is one of the most biggest misconceptions about amateur fighters?
Uh,
Because, like, personally, like,
yeah.
I assume
We're brawlers. We're brawlers. Me, I'm not a brawler. You know, I'm coming in there like a leopard. You know, that's the type of fighter I am. You know, come in there. You know, I'm thinking. You know, I'm trying to outthink you because that's what it really is. You know, I'm not looking out there to throw haymakers for no reason. I'm looking to set you up, take you down, and smash you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're very strategic.
Yeah.
So how do you plan to be strategic? Because I feel like once you enter the octagon, anything can happen.
Right.
So, like, are you setting up certain hooks? Are you trying to get him to maybe shoot and
We
try to strike you?
watch a lot of film, so as back to my football days, that's all, you know, my coaches harped on. So I watch a lot of film. You know, I study a lot of these guys. I study how they think. I look them up, you know. Like I'm really trying to understand what type of human being you are. And yeah. That's just the type of fighter I am.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's been you since you got into fighting.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. Like, I don't know. Like, back then, I was just say I was more like, you know, I wasn't this type of guy. But, yeah, fighting just, I'd say it opened my eyes to who I am inside and what God made me to be. And I'm blessed to find that.
What keeps you motivated to continue to fight? Because I know that there are struggles especially when it's coming to, like, looking for an opponent, when you could be like, man, why does nobody want to fight me? So, like, what do you feel like?
Because I know I didn't do this to do it for the fame, for the money. I did it to, you know, leave a legacy, like I told you when my uncle died. And when I visited him in Europe, he lived in Belgium. He told me, hey, you should probably think about getting in the fight game. And he was a strong man, and, you know, he died. So I want to leave a legacy. Like, he left a really good legacy for our family too, but I also want to leave a legacy, you know, not only for my family, but like I said, for the next generation, you know, because I feel like what I've had to overcome as a person, I feel like I can inspire the next generation. Yeah, for sure.
So, as inspiring, like, what do you mean by that? Like, obviously you're talking about, like, helping them grow and succeed and stuff like that, but, like, how are you gonna do it? Like, through your social
I would say
media?
that being adversity is a privilege, you know, and I feel like when you go through bad things in life, it's just really a chance that God is allowing you to see what you're really made of, you know. And I feel like in society nowadays, you know, people really forget that, and I just want to leave a legacy of, hey, man, when you go through hard times, with God, you can overcome it, as well as just like people that look like me who don't look like me, that it doesn't matter. As long as you believe in yourself, it doesn't matter what room you walk into. You can be the best, you know, in that room.
Yeah. A question that I always ask my guests is, like, how important is it to surround yourself with people who want to see you succeed? And the reason I ask that is because, like, if you want to be someone who's successful, you can't hang out with a bunch of losers.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So for you, how important has it been to surround yourself with winners?
Well, I feel like as a human, you really can lie to yourself. But when you have people that are telling you and they see your potential, it makes you like, okay, it's disrespectful to them, you know. So being around people like Roger and my teammates, you know, all these guys, you know, they have a story too, but they decided to fight and they changed their life. Like our team captain Hunter, you know, went to prison, changed his life, became a fighter. You know, he's a great dad. You know, that's a story. You know, Jamon used to be a big guy, fat guy, got bullied, went JUCO, came All-American. He's about to fight. You know, just so many guys on our team that are just inspiring. Elijah, too, you know, he had a rough upbringing, but he became a fighter. You know, just so many guys on our team that have a story, but they were just losers that didn't want to lose, and that's what made them winners. So,
Dang, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's nice.
But I'm around all those guys, and, you know, they make me want to be the better man I am today. You know, I got a couple teammates too that are cops, you know, and, you know, that's impressive, you know, being able to serve your community while also doing that, you know. So just really good guys that, you know, they know what they want to be, and they're not followers, you know, they're their own mans. And I like being around people like that because we can actually build something, you know, and I think that's what we're building over our team, Relentless.
Yeah. How important is it to not be a follower and be somebody who's leading and, you know, pursuing and doing all these things?
I mean, I feel like God brought us all here to be leaders, and I feel like when you become a follower, that's where things start going downhill.
Right.
You know, I feel like that's where you could get depressed, you know, lose yourself. And, you know, it's easy being a follower, you know?
Right.
It's very easy. But being a leader, that's something I think God calls us all to do.
100%.
You know? So
the way I like looking at it too, and that kind of breaking it down like that, like as humans, we're made in God's image.
Yeah.
So God didn't make us to be people of averageness. Like we cannot be mediocre people.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter like who you are. This is for anybody. Like it doesn't matter who you are. Like you are called to lead and to serve.
Right.
And that's all it's about. This podcast is brought to you by Nuevo Dia Cincinnati. Are you looking for a place to call home? Here you will find community, support, and a place to grow your faith. Join us every Sunday at 2 p.m. To learn more and connect with us, check us out on Google and Facebook at Nuevo Dia Cincinnati. That is Nuevo Dia Cincinnati, where every day is a new beginning. How do you find sponsors and stuff like that for fighting?
Really connections. Like Roger, he knows a lot of people. But I ain't really worried about that right now. I'm just worried about winning fights, you know. But when that comes, that comes. But really Roger and like Hunter Frazier and Jamon, they really know how to sell themselves too. Like, so yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
What's like a main message that you have for any listener that's listening to this podcast?
Believe in yourself, you know. Don't let no one bully you. You know, people are always going to try to say you can't do it, but as long as you believe in yourself and believe in the plans God has for you, I mean, who can stop you, you know? Only yourself. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, dude, it's been such an honor having you on the podcast, bro. Where can people check you out on social media?
They can check me out at _Tshiunza, TSHIUNZA. And yeah. Appreciate
awesome.
You guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you got a fight. You said maybe possibly August.
No, August 29th. Yeah.
Okay.
Against Wes Armstrong. Very tough fighter, talented guy. It's gonna be a great fight. I think in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, snap.
So yeah, it's gonna be a really good test for me, and he's a dangerous opponent. But like I said, I want to fight the most dangerous guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, brother, it's been an honor having you on.
And the